Hello everyone, how you doing? Jackie Bluhm here with Stampin' Up, independent demonstrator. So, what are we talking about today? Today we are talking about masks. And this is a 2-pack water and dotted line decorative masks. We are going to do this heavily rocky watery one first, and then next week I will be using the dotted stripes, okay? If you have any questions, want to know what some numbers are for ordering, just let me know in the comments and I will get back to you on that. Say hi if you're out there. We're also using this wonderful paper packet, which has this, should have pulled these out, has this wonderful one that you can cut apart and use. I love that it also has pattern on the back side, and I also love that they list, I'm going to try to get this back in here, as they list what it is and what the colors are. So this is Waterside Retreat 167920, and it's got Gray Granite, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Pecan Pie, Pool Party, and Very Vanilla. Oh, I didn't see that it was Pool Party. I should have pulled that Pool Party. Oh well. All right, so what are we going to do? So we're also going to be using from the Stylish Shapes, which is carried over from last year. Love this one. It's a nice one to have in your arsenal. We're using the biggest circle and the biggest banner. Okay, stick those away so they don't get lost. And of course the number's covered. 159183. Stylish Shapes. So what I used for this first card is Rolling Waves, Stampin' dies. I love this one because it's got so many pretty dies that you can use. And this is only half of it. The rest of them are back here. Okay. Oh, I guess I should make sure that I'm online, huh? Let's see. Hopefully I am. Yes, I am. Good. Okay. So, lots of nice dies with that one. And of course, it's going to give me a hiccup. There we go. All right. And then I pulled some bling from my stash. And this just happened to be a really pretty color. If you have these, they're Riverside, ironically, irregular pearls. And like I said, they're retired now. Use your stash, people. So, here's the first card. I'll hold it up so you can see it. So I used that background paper. I made a mask and cut it out with the shapes. I also did part of the dies and the little shells. There's my dots in a triangle. I used one of each color, thought that looked fine. And inside I just added some, my leftover of the shells and whatnot. I don't know if I showed you that. Look at this. So what I love about their dies is sometimes you just have a whole row of them. That way you don't lose these tiny bits, and you can just cut it out at one time, which is great. Okay, enough about that. So this is card number 1. I also put a little shimmer on Wink of Stella on here, and then I splattered it. I took my Wink of Stella and hit it with scissors and just sprayed it all over. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to put it there. I'm going to move my hands in case you want to take a screenshot. That is card number 1. I'm going to show you 3 cards today, and then we'll build the last one together. Okay? And I will show you how I did this. So there's card number 1. Where am I going to put it? We'll put it right there. Card number 2. Oh, I also used, which color is this? Light Balmy Blue. And that's what I used to color in a little bit of those seashells. Okay? All right. Next card, I took the words from here. That should be already in. This is the banner sayings, and it comes with that punch that has 3 different sizes of banners. So this is also a nice one to have because we're always looking for words. 167044. All right, and then get rid of that. I also used Pecan Pie cardstock, the 12 by 12 that has the 2-tone colors. So this is the Pecan Pie color. Oh, I didn't turn it over. I just used the full strength. This is one of those cutouts like I showed you earlier, and this is where I used that mask. These little dots are also, oh, wait a minute. These dots are these. Those are different dots. Yeah, okay. I showed you the right ones. Sorry. Wait, these are also from my stash. I thought they just looked kind of like rocks, pebbles, that kind of thing. Right? So I'll hold this one up so you can see it. The twine, I just put some tape on the back side of this, and I just wrapped it around and tied it in the front and then cut it off. Okay, and that's just your basic twine, linen thread. That's all that was. Oh, sorry, I hit the ring. So there it is again. I'll put it there so you can take a picture. And I love these. You don't need much of anything. Consider yourself hugged. Could be anything, right? Okay, card number 2. Card number 3, I'm going to use the Relaxing Waterside Stampin dies. I'm also using, you should see my desk, it's just a mess. I'm also using some light and dark gray granite marker and the light and dark pecan pie. Okay, like I said, if you have any questions, just give me a holler. And so before I do that card, I want to show you, oh, here we go. Let's pull this back. This card I used Misty Meadow. Just lost my marker. Hold on. Gonna need that later. All right. And for the samples that I'm gonna be showing you, I also did. So this one was pecan pie. But then I also did a pecan pie and a little bit of old olive. And then the last color that I used was gray granite. Okay? All right. Let's get those out of the way. Show you some tips and tricks. And maybe I'll make some bonus ones out of this. Doesn't this kind of look like a giraffe? I'm thinking if I color in the background, it would kind of mimic a giraffe. That one not so much with the green, but it would have been, had I not done that, I could have, again, shaded it with something really light, kind of yellowy orange. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, first of all, I got myself a white piece of cardstock, okay, and I'm going to take that down. And your glass mat works great for this because it's easy cleanup, blah, blah, blah. Then I took a piece of black so that way you could see it, but it could just be whatever leftover cardstock you have. And I'm going to tape, actually, I'm going to use this piece of tape. And I'm going to tape both of them down, okay? Then I'm going to take my mask and you just put it wherever, oh, excuse me, got out of my way. Put it wherever bubbles you like, okay? And then we're gonna tape that down a little bit more. Helps to turn the tape over. This could be sticky notes. This could be whatever you have in your stash. Washi tape, any of that. Okay. So now we're nice and taped down. I'm gonna take my gray granite because that one shows up the best. I'm gonna dip my brush in. Now, normally I would tell you to tap it off onto something else, but I'm just going to go very lightly and I'm going to make circular motions. And we're just putting that over the paper. And actually, I'm going to do it quite dark so you guys can see it. Now, there's something fun that happens when you do a swirly motion. It kind of gives you a light and a dark because it first hits on one section and then it kind of lightens the other. And I'm not going to fill it all in. Now, it doesn't look too good right there, but look at when you lift it up. And I'm gonna grab my stencil over here, and I'm just going to wipe it off. That way I'm not getting ink anywhere when I set that down. And then when you reveal, look at that. Okay, is that not pretty? And I love the way, like I said, if you notice, when you go around, sorry I keep hitting that, it's right at my head level. But see how this is darker and this is lighter? I just think that's a really cool effect. Now again, I told you I cut it out, similar to this one. And before I cut it out, I thought, maybe on this card, because it was, you know, a piece like that, and it was actually right here. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll take the negative or the positive, whichever way you want to call it, cover up this, and then sponge the background. But I didn't like how that looked, so I cut it out. So, you know, try it. You never know what you're going to get. Tape it down good is a nice bonus. When I went and did the second color of this one, I just went in areas where I wanted that green. Now, I think that you could use a marker or even, let's see if how cloud cover. I'm looking for a green. Hold on. Let's try seafoam. So I'm wondering if we could go around and just add some dots of some seafoam to kind of mimic, and that's just a really light green. And see how you get just a little bit more. So you could go around with a marker. You could probably do a colored pencil. You could do a watercolor pencil and then blend it in with a wet paintbrush. You know, it's just a little piece of paper, a little bit of ink, and a marker. Try it. All right. So let's move on to the one we're going to build. So I pulled out this stamp set because I like the Time to Celebrate, which I know you can't see. There we go. Can't see that stamp set too good. There we go. And where did I get that? It is a paper pumpkin for May. And I haven't even made the cards yet, but I thought I would show you the flyer. So that's where I got the stamp from. And here is the flyer, 3 cards of each one. So 9 cards, really pretty. Here, I can show you. Let's just pull the box in. All your little pieces. It's got a Misty Moonlight baby one. It's got these 3 really pretty envelopes. Aren't those nice? And then you've got your card bases. I can get those out. And again, you could cut this in half or even put it on a scrapbook page. I think it would be pretty. And actually, I think it goes this way. Yeah. So they're, you know, floating up in the sky. So there's 3 of those. Oh, here's the little die cuts. 3 of those. This card goes this way. So this is the back. So you could totally cut that off and use it for something else. And then you have these little windows that open all up. Take these out and the doors kind of open on the windows. And then a night sky. Okay. Oh, and then what you stamp on is under here. And you can 3D the light bulbs along the, you know, strings. And some more of those Chinese lanterns going up. So I will try and get at least one of these put together, and I can show you next week. Love paper pumpkin. I love to do alternate things with it. So maybe I will try that too, because I think that'd be a really pretty scrapbook page. And enough said about that. Paper pumpkin, actually a little bit more. Paper pumpkin is a subscription. You can do 1 month, 3 months, a year. And if you do it before, so June is coming. If you had done it before the 10th of May, you could skip. Now, if you're doing a monthly one, you can't skip the first month, okay? This is May's. They start delivering after the 10th of the month. So in June, so say you signed up today, you would get June's kit, and it would start shipping after the 10th of June. And if you didn't like, sometimes they'll show you sneak peeks. They don't show you all of the cards. It's supposed to be kind of a surprise. But they will show you sneak peeks of them, and sometimes they'll show you a whole card. So if you bought it now, you're going to get June's. But by June 10th, you can go online and say skip or stop, whatever. And then you would not get July's. And then you would have to do the same if you didn't like August, or you would get August. So there is some, you can pick and choose. You can see a little bit of it. I've enjoyed it. They've just gotten better and better. They were really pretty. The ones that I've gotten, I don't think I've skipped yet. And I started my subscription last July. Okay, enough about that. What are we gonna make today? So I pulled out some pieces. I've got some bits done. I'm going to show you. This is gray granite. This is the two-tone cardstock, so it's a little bit lighter. You would need to put your, well, you wouldn't need to, but I would put a white liner in here. I'm using the light side rather than the dark side. So that kind of gives you what the two tones look like. Then I pulled out a piece of that paper. From its blanking, that one, Seaside Retreat, Waterside Retreat, I think that's it. And I was going to do a half a circle. It turned out to be a little bit more on my paper, so I stamped it with this one, and I thought I would show you with gray granite. I thought I would show you, I'm going to stamp another one. Where's my, pulling my scratch paper. Actually, I can just pull this in, then you'll be able to see better. Pull this in. We're going to ink this up. I think I need something. I lost one of my nubbins or something on the back of here. I need to prop it up. Anyway, let's put that there. Okay. Just going to pull in my rag, clean that off. And that's all we need of that. So we've got that on there. And we can pull that away. Right there. And then, actually, I'm going to put it off the edge here so I can do my gluing. And yes, sometimes it is hard to cover up the back side, but it's just paper. Buy more and use the other side if you want. Okay. So how I'm doing this is I'm looking at this corner, and this corner to hopefully get me fairly straight. Now you've got to be careful because sometimes your pattern paper will be a little bit off and it can really throw you off. So if it is a little bit wonky, then set it to where it looks straight to you eyeballing, even if that's not totally lined up. It will look better that way. Okay, we're going to put that there. I stamped those words that I told you about. We're going to put that there. And then I have these punch outs from that set. So you had these two pieces, but then you can cut out those two pieces that match the stamp, or they have these extra little, now I'm blanking on what those are. Oh, somebody tell me. Anyway, so I've got these three done, and I thought I would show you, and maybe this will help, how I colored these in. And it's all about the layers and what you do with the colors to add a little bit more, a little bit more. So we're going to start with the light first. Okay. And I'm just going to take the brush end and I'm going to color down the stems and the flowers. Nothing fancy, just get the color on there. Okay. Then I'm going to take the light and I'm just going to do the tops. Now it's sometimes easier because you can just see I got just a nick of that pecan pie. So I'm going to go over it and blend it out. No biggie. Okay. So that's what it looks like so far. You can stop there or you can add to it. And that's how I did these. So what I'm going to do to add to it is I'm going to take the darker of those two colors. And this time I'm going to use, and these are the alcohol blends, I'm going to use the small end rather than the brush end. And I'm just going to kind of make sure, you can't see very good. I'm just doing the bottom and then I'm just flicking like where those leaves would be. So I just took it and went up, and you can add a little bit of darker, blend it in, okay? And then I also went to the top. Let's see if I can show you this up close. So I went to the top of this. This is going to be hard. And I just did a dot. Remember, the longer you leave it, the longer it's going to bleed to there. Okay, so see, it just added a little bit, and you can go back if you want. In the air, it's not easy to do. Okay, and just add a little bit more. Now this one I'm also going to use the pointed writer end, if you will, and let's see, maybe it'll be better on here. Okay, we're good. We're good. So then I'm just going to kind of dot it, because you know how sometimes they're darker and lighter. And put it darker at the bottom. And that is how I colored those in. All right? Okay. So now, let's put the rest of this together. I think I will raise this up. No, maybe I'll raise the words. Let's raise the words. Okay. Got one without a sticky peeled off. And you might notice, I don't know, I've probably told you this 1,000 times, but they come not lined like this. I just took one of the markers and just went down, so that way now I can tell that that one's still got its paper on and this one does not. Okay, just a little tip. Okay, so that is ready to go. Let's get some adhesive on here. Okay. And this is where I use my grid. I line it up. You can still put this upside down. And a lot of times I will do this. I will run it off the top, and then I can, if I can hold still, I can count my squares and make it even. So I know I need to be about there. So there we go. Okay. And now we'll add this. And I can't see very well, so I don't want to hit that again. I'm going to turn my card sideways. No, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to stand up and go between it. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for watching. So we're going to line this back up. And again, you could do this to measure. So that's about right. Or eyeball it. I also use my cross grid to keep me straight. Okay. And then we are going to put some adhesive on there and on the top. And we're going to add our little bits. Now, something that I would tell you to do, because I didn't, is put some adhesive back on the back of these. Then it will be much easier to put them down. Peel and stick. Okay. And this is nice because we can go, in under there. And add our two. Add one more at least. And sometimes you gotta remember less is more. And sometimes it'll get a little bit outside, so you gotta kind of watch that. So we'll do that. Do we need one more? I like that. So we've got a group and then a single. So that kind of helps, you know, because I always tell you odd numbers, but because we have this little cluster over here, we can get away with just doing 4. Okay. And yes, I know I'm gluing it down over the bumpies, but that's okay. All right. How does that look? Do we need some bling? Well, let's see. I think I'm gonna grab some green, just a second. Here's some of our latest bling. Oh, and as always, if I didn't say it, thank you for shopping with me. So I thought maybe this white or this green might be pretty, and I just kind of lay it down and see. Yeah, I like that green. These are too opaque. Those don't match. This has a little bit of blue in the, I love these ones. These are, oh, I didn't write it down. I believe these are from the Lily of the Valley. And I don't know if you can see, but there's some blue in there. This green I think is a little too light, and that blue is not gonna work. The white would, but I think I want the green because we don't have, and here's why. There's green here, there's green here. There's really no other green. Try and incorporate all of your colors. We've got a lot of this color going on. And the blue is enough because it's enough, but this green is just so much smaller. So that's why I'm gonna go with the green. And we have 2 different sizes. I like to put the bigger size more towards the bottom. This is where I like to stand up as well to see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna do a little triangle. So we got one there. And you could use all 3 colors too. I don't think that blue would be too bad. But we're gonna use the green since we want a little more green. And then I like to kind of cluster it in with the grouping. So I like that one there. And remember, triangle or a line. So I think I like that one there. What do you think? Do we need another one there? It's a good way to tell. It's just stick it on your pokey tool so that way you can be out away from it and say, that wouldn't be too bad. See how those 2 kind of line up? So if I wanted to do another one, I could do one there. I don't really want one here. And I don't know that it needs it. Tell me, Debbie, where should I put it? Do I need another one or just 3? Sorry, it's like watching paint dry, isn't it? Okay, I think I really kind of want to tie it in over here. I don't know. And this is where less is more. You could do that. Let's do that. Okay, there we go. There is our 3rd card. Like I said, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. And I appreciate you watching. And as I always do, Here's the 3 cards we made today. Get all this mess out of the way. And I always like to know which is your favorite. And let's just tilt the camera. Let's pull these down a little bit. So number 1, number 2, number 3. So we used them a couple of different ways. And like I said, next week I will be using that other stencil with the dotted lines. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye.